The next issue which comes up in publication process is peer review. Now, what is peer review? This is a standard procedure for any journal to get the articles reviewed by some of the experts in that field before they make any decision on accepting or rejecting the manuscript, or even the subsequent revisions which will be done on the basis of what the experts have proposed. So they are the reviewers now. Okay. Now, it is important for authors to also know the review process of a particular journal, or journals in particular. Journals in general. The peer review process involves getting a paper reviewed by experts on the subject, and therefore the review should be blind in nature. That is, neither the author nor the reviewers have any knowledge of each other. Now, this is done to ensure anonymity and absolutely no chance of bias or prejudice in the process. Before a manuscript is put under review, it is screened for any plagiarism or any suitability issues. Generally, a handling editor reviews the manuscript firsthand to find out the suitability of the article in the concerned journal. Occasionally, internal editors also provide a second review. This is ensured to protect the precious time of the reviewers as well as the authors concerned, because what happens that a review process takes a lot of time, and if, for example, in the first screening stage the editor comes to know that the paper has a bleak chance of, or very less chance of being published, then it is appropriate that the articles be rejected beforehand, and the authors informed about it. Generally, the corresponding author is the one who is informed of the rejection. In fact, now it is a good practice to take all the email IDs of all the authors concerned, and subsequently some important information like acceptance of the article or rejection of the article should reach to each of the authors. Now, the role of reviewer is to provide a non-biased information to the authors so that they may be able to improve upon the papers that have been submitted. According to the COP guidelines, the reviewer should never use the methods, ideas, conclusions drawn from the reviewed papers into their own. The ideal way is to not retain the papers after review. So this is for the reviewers, that the papers which they have reviewed should be deleted, because any idea, definitely review process is a great process where one learns a lot of things, being a reviewer as well. So if somebody gets a chance to review any article, they should always grab it, because they will understand the nuances of writing themselves by looking into different types of papers that come up for publication. So this process again should be very discreetly done, and requires a lot of professionalism. It is not a paid job, so again it is in order to provide contribution to the academic fraternity, such things are done. There are some COP or COP, that is Committee of Publication Ethics, cases where the reviewers were able to meet the authors directly, and even offer for co-authorship in a different journal. So there are a lot of cases which happen. What are the different specific issues that come up for review? Now, also it must be understood that the reviewer should always try to provide a neutral stance, and give proper time. The response should be prompt. They should not be delayed. If somebody is really busy for a review process, then that has to be clearly mentioned to the editor, because generally it is not considered good to keep the authors waiting and at the end of it they can get rejection. And generally what happens is most of the journals are now working in this regard, that they reject the papers first hand if they find it unsuitable for publication, or maybe that the chances of publication is rather not bright, so that may be those papers may be desk rejected in the first instance. Okay, and the journal should, on the part, report accurate peer review reports to the authors. You can say verbatim or word by word a review should be provided to the authors so that they can make specific corrections. Also, the authors, the reviewers reviews given to a journal. The journal should what the journal should do is to conduct timely audits to determine the acceptance rate of the reviews. There can be some kind of misconduct there also, where the reviewers know the authors well, and such some kind of papers may go to specific reviewers. So a proper audit also should be done from time to time by the editors of the journal to find out if everything is going on well. So these are some of the guidelines which the Committee of Publication Ethics give for the peer review process.